thoughts on Pittsburgh, and then look ahead to Georgia Southern this week.
Well, Pittsburgh game, I was proud of the effort. I thought our guys played hard. Just came up a play or two short. Seems like it's kind of been what's happening lately a little bit. So put it in the rearview mirror and move on. Getting ready to play a really talented Georgia Southern team. I think they've got some really good skill guys, especially offensively. The quarterbacks, running backs, receivers. A pretty veteran group. A lot of the same guys we played here a couple years ago, especially skill-wise. And I know it's going to be a tough, hard-fought game because having been there, I know how excited they will be to have an opportunity to come play. They're going to be fired up to come in here and have a chance to play.
Okay. Questions for Coach Johnson?
You said yesterday you thought that was against Pittsburgh was the hardest that the team has played this season. Do you have any theories as to why it happened then and not the previous games?
I don't know. I mean, it was 55 degrees and cool, and there wasn't a lot of snaps on either side of the ball. 61-55, so the efforts were down when we graded the effort. I think we also understood the importance of the game.
Like, does it hold any kind of personal significance at all?
Other than wanting to win the game, not really. I still have a ton of friends there and a lot of support. I've got really fond memories of the place. When I was there, we were very successful. I think I was looking at it today. I think my last 2 years there as the offensive coordinator and the 5 years as a head coach, we were 26-4 and 62-10. So we won a lot of games. And but that's all history. Now we're trying to get ready to play, and having been there, I'm trying to make sure that our guys understand how excited they're going to be to have a chance to come in here and play. And that's we've got to be able to match their intensity and everything and be ready to play. And the last time they came, I think we did to start with, and then we kind of felt like that it was over at halftime, and to their credit, they came back guns blazing. So we've got to be ready to play one of our better games.
Kind of with the way things have fallen in terms of league play, what do you set kind of as the goal now for the team going forward?
Our goal is to try to win the fourth game this week. You take it one game at a time, and we try to win number 4 and get back on a winning streak as opposed to the other way. You can't look at the end of the season. You got to go one game at a time. And there's still, like I said, there's still 6 games left. It's, I was saying yesterday, you still got a chance to win 9 games. If you did that, that would be I think the 8th or 9th time in 49 years that it's happened. So that would be considered a pretty good year, I think. I would consider 9 wins a really good year. Now, that won't achieve our goals that we set to start with to try to win the division and get in the championship game. But, and as crazy as our division is, who knows? You just keep playing. You play one game at a time, and you just keep playing and see what happens. I think I've seen everybody now on tape with the exception of Virginia Tech, and I watched them play a little bit. I know they're really good defensively. But, I don't know that anybody else is just way better than anybody else. So there's going to be a lot of teams beating each other, I think.
How does Ellison compare with some of the other quarterbacks you faced this season?
Well, he's very, very hard to tackle. I mean, he's a finisher. He breaks a lot of tackles. He keeps a lot of plays alive, and I think he's gotten better as a thrower. He seems to be more accurate. And the one thing that they have some receivers that can really run. some guys that kind of go get the ball. And with the nature of running an option offense like they do, you're going to get some one-on-ones out there with the receivers. You just are.
They've changed coaches since they were here in 2014. How similar is what they're doing now in offense compared to then?
I think probably maybe not the same emphasis, but the same stuff. I mean, that's what it looks like to me. I think they're trying to do a lot of the same things that they did when Willie was there offensively. Defensively, they're a little different, but they're still pretty similar.
Overall, is this the best the special teams have played for you since you've been at Georgia Tech, do you think, from the field goal blocks to the return for a touchdown, et cetera?
Well, I think that special teams for most games have been a positive. So, yeah, I mean, there's still things that we can correct. I found that when you have a good kicker, that helps. But they've been pretty solid, which is a good thing, because for years, we heard the reason they weren't any good is because we didn't have a special teams coach, and then we went through that for 4 or 5 years, and now we see that a good kicker trumps special teams coach, and having more guys involved and being more into it. And I think our staff's done a good job. They've taken ownership. Each guy that has that unit has taken ownership of it.
Southern's put the ball on the ground 12 times so far this year. Is this a game where you figure maybe your defense will start to get some turnovers?
We're due. We haven't had very much luck. I always say you make your own luck, but we haven't had very much of it in a while. So, we're due. I don't like talking about that stuff. As soon as you start talking about it, it'll come right back to you, and so.
When he's had time, when there haven't been breakdowns, Justin seems to be throwing the ball as well as he has, and Ricky's made some plays, Brad's made some plays. So, are you in a position possibly, if some other things work out on the interior, where you might be able to exploit some things?
You would hope the game dictates that. I mean, we are who we are, and it's like when you run 55 plays, it's hard to throw the ball 30 times. That's not who we are. And, I think that we did a much better job of protecting him a week ago. And when you protect him and he can get where he can see, he's a pretty accurate guy. He's always been a pretty accurate guy throwing the ball. So certainly that needs to be an aspect. And what we need to be able to do, if people put everybody up on the line to play the run, we need to be able to hurt them with the pass, and we got to be able to protect it to do that. So whether it's 5-man protection, 6-man, 7-man, whatever, you got to use whoever to protect the guy. So
at this point, what are some things you feel like you can count on that you're doing pretty well?
in what way? What are you talking about?
Obviously, we've mentioned the pass rush has been kind of spotty, but are there other things you feel like, going into this game, I think we'll do this pretty well? Whether it's, I guess Dietrich would be the top of the list, but and Justin, I think.
Well, I'm not sure Dietrich's had 100 yards yet in a game. I know what we need to do well. It's pretty simple this week. You need to be able to run the ball and stop the run. You'd like to win the turnover battle, which will be huge. And, for us, we need to hit a couple of huge, big plays in the passing game, off play action or off whatever. If we do those things, then we'll have a really good chance to win. The one thing I know I can count on, I think Harrison Butker's going to kick the ball pretty well. He has all year. I think that for the most part, Justin Thomas is going to get us in the right plays and the right situations. I think you can pretty much count on that. So I'd like to think that we're going to play hard.
Coach, following the way the last offensive series ended, did the offensive line, do you think this week, take it personally, the way that planned? And have you seen a little more out of them, maybe a little more resolve this week so far?
Hope so. But it's like I said, told our team that the last play, it just magnified the game. What's happened, and as much as it is physical execution, sometimes it's just not being smart. I mean, we weren't very smart on that last play either. And you could say, well, it's a stupid play call. Okay, if that's what you think, then that's what you think. But when they don't work, then none of them are very good. But it's like we could have made it about 100 times easier on ourselves if we had lined up where we were supposed to, if we had stepped where we were supposed to. And that still doesn't, there was 15 plays in that game. It didn't have to come down to that on both offense and defense that could have changed that game. So we just got to make more plays and be dialed in and go. It's like I said. Somebody said, well, everybody has their idea. We did not run the ball at the 300-pound guy. He was backside. Now, we brought him play side when we took a split about this far, or not play side. Our guy cut back into him instead of staying. I mean, there was a lot of things that we did that probably didn't help. But if that situation as a coach, if you don't win a game, you're an idiot, right? I mean, that's why you get paid. That's why you coach, because if you punt the ball and they come down and score, you're an idiot. If you go for it and you don't make it, and they score, you're an idiot. If you run inside and they tackle you, that was a stupid play call. If you toss the ball, people are going to go, you had less than a yard to go while you're trying to run the ball outside, and you're an idiot. That part doesn't bother me. What bothers me is us executing what we need to do. And from that aspect, we all should take it personal. I do. I would hope that the offensive line coaches do, the offensive line, the running backs, everybody should take it personal. It's the only way I know to play the game.
In terms of, I guess, turning this, you've had seasons where you started out fast and then fade down the stretch. You had 2014, which was sort of like this, where you lost a couple games. Is that sort of something you point to because they can control what happens from
I
here
think
on?
each team is different. What happens with every team is when you finish the game, you have to come and watch the tape, okay? And what you put on the tape is what you are. I mean, you can talk about, I have guys with discipline come in my office for whatever. Well, Coach, I'm a good kid. I'm a good kid. Don't tell me you're a good kid. I mean, if you're a good kid, you wouldn't be in here 6 times. It's like, so what you put on tape is what you are. So where you have a problem as a coach and where the problem comes is if guys can come in and they can sit down and watch the tape and say, man, if I'd done that exactly like I was supposed to, it wasn't going to make a difference. I could have been right where I was supposed to and done what I was supposed to, and they had 2 guys there instead of 1, or they had this or they had that. That's when guys, I think, tend to go enough. I don't think our guys are there. If you ask them, they can sit and watch the tape and they can say, wow, if we had done this like we were supposed to, or if I had done this, then we have a chance. And so they get frustrated too when you watch it. Nobody wants to fail. It's like nobody goes out there and doesn't rush the passer because they want to, or they go out there to arc the corner and miss him on purpose. That's why you play the game. But when you watch it, if you can look at it and say, if I'd have got that guy, that would have been a touchdown, or that would have been a big play, then I think it just drives people who are competitive to try to get better.